As Rinpoche was sharing, while everything was so profound and yet so simple, the fact that first of all to begin how important the Nyendro practice is, and secondly the fact that to accept your suffering and to be realistic, because as Rinpoche is sharing with us what the LOH-JONG practice is, I think more and more I am convinced of the fact, and I'm sure the audience is getting convinced as well, that Buddhism, not just what Rinpoche is sharing right now, but Buddhism on the whole is very, in so many sense, modern and so precise.
Many people do think nowadays, especially in Asian country, in the West, no problem. In the Asian countries, many people think that, oh, I'm not traditional practitioner, so I want direct teaching. I want simple practice. I don't want to practice. I don't want to do this and that things. These are traditional way. So they divide it into two. The so-called traditional teaching and the modern teaching, which I don't accept it. Because Buddha did not really given such precise, the choices. So individual, you choose this and you choose that. No. Systematic in the sense of that is all about practice. So what we do is we do fight with our ego. If you open up your wisdom eye, what you can see is all the problem come from ego. So the ego is the problematic, cause of the rest of the suffering, the pains. So therefore, traditional or whatever, the systematic way they apply the Buddha Dhamma within is practical. I'll give you one example. Like you take refuge first. If you really want to become a Buddhist, then number one step is you take a refuge vow. When you take a refuge vow, it does not mean that you surrender into Buddha or Buddhism. Or taking refuge is in the sense of like that you realized without being understand of the Four Noble Truths, then one cannot be the Buddhist. So therefore, in the past, those great masters, they don't give simply refuge vow, without the training over these Four Noble Truths. So they give you the lesson, Four Noble Truths, let you digest. 1 month, 2 months, doesn't matter. After that, you go back to your master, say that, okay, I did practice that, I experienced this and that. Okay, he will or she will know that. So he or she will know that you really did practice well. So after that, then they will give you a refuge vow, right? Yes. So after giving refuge vow, then they let you analyze what is a Buddha, what is a Dharma, what is a Sangha. So that is also another 1 or 2 months lesson which you have to digest and practice it. So you see, and then after that only the Bodhisattva vow, but Bodhisattva vow also they will examine you. So whether you have a capacity to get a Bodhisattva vow, whether you have a capacity to be Bodhisattva or not. So that sort of things, all the processes are just for one purpose, is to open your mind and to open your wisdom. So therefore, if you go traditional practice, I think it's more suitable to the modern society. Because it's too fast. Life is too busy. Life is too fast now. Everybody wants to be everything instantly. Like you do practice today, tomorrow enlightened. So that cannot be done like a computer. You cannot do like that. So therefore, you should consider how much you are ignorant, how much your mind is deluded, how much you have a powerful disturbing emotion. So according to that, you have to think that how much I have to put my effort into the practice, meditation, and analyze. So through this way, we call this is the real sense of a training of your mind. Yes. It's not only LOH-JONG, because LOH-JONG is a title, because there is a LOH-JONG like 7 pages only. Sometimes there are only the 8 verses only. And some great masters composed the 8 verses of LOH-JONG practice. Yes. They think this is so excited, but this is not excited. The most excited thing is if you really follow the traditional way, step by step. So steps are so important. So if you follow that way, I think it's more suitable to the modern society rather than so-called modern teaching, modern training, modern practice. There's no such modern training and a modern practice.
Yes.
Buddha's teaching is for all, right? So regardless, because as long as you have an ego problem, as long as you have a dualistic mental attitude, so the problem is there. So all the teachings, whether it's a Mahayana teaching or Theravada teaching, Vajrayana teaching, they have different techniques and methods. So actually you should have an experienced teacher, experienced master. So if you have an experiential master, then he or she could really correct you proper way, precisely and openly. So therefore, the making a profound relationship between a teacher and a student is so important in order to get through your practice and in order to get through your problems. So therefore, young generations nowadays, they should not think it's so boring, the traditional teachings, the traditional practices, the traditional teaching. So they should value more that how difficult you have it in your modern life, because in the past they don't have much problem anyway.